On behalf of Freedom Watch and our staff, yours truly, Larry Klayman, wants to wish everyone a great 4th of July. And I want everybody to remember what the 4th of July was about in my native city of Philadelphia, which is where the Declaration of Independence was signed on or about that date. We declared independence from King George III because he had had total control over us. His edicts, his judges were rubber stamping them. He was unwilling to compromise. He was destroying the colonies, which were very prosperous, using the colonies to pay for the rest of his empire. He took our legal system away from us, particularly the criminal justice system, took it back to the court of St. James. But the reality is that King George III was far less worse than what we have in charge of the country today, particularly with regard to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But that applies also with regard to others who have occupied the White House. But today, we live in a virtual dictatorship, a tyranny. We have a legal system that's not just weaponized, it's corrupt top to bottom. The most corrupt profession in this country, frankly, and around the world, is the legal profession because it facilitates and it covers up illegal, corrupt activity. We, the American people, need to declare independence again and to form a new government, not a new nation, as our founding fathers did. And paraphrasing the Declaration of Independence, when in the course of human events, the sovereign, the rulers, no longer take into account we the people, we have a right under the laws of nature and nature's God, not the law of man, but the law of nature and nature's God, to alter or abolish that government and to form a new government by and for the people with happiness and prosperity for all. I'm just paraphrasing. And at the end of the Declaration of Independence, perhaps the most beautiful document ever written, the founding fathers call on the Father and Son with a divine providence to carry them through. And against all odds, they prevailed against King George III. And we formed a new nation and we created a precedent. The French later followed. And this is the legacy that we have given, not just to this country, but the world. Now, Freedom Watch has a third Continental Congress. It was the second Continental Congress that declared independence. We need to make certain changes to our Constitution. Minor, but some changes. Judges should not be appointed for life. They should be elected so they're accountable. We can see what's happened in our legal system just in the last year or so with judges that are out of control, which are corrupt, and which are frankly evil, and are not representing the interests of the American people, much less the parties in front of them, but pursuing a political agenda. We have bar associations seeking to eliminate conservative, Republican, and libertarian activist lawyers so they can't challenge the tyranny that has been imposed upon the people by the Gestapo of a Biden Justice Department and otherwise on the left. We have a degradation of Judeo-Christian values. We have rampant crime. We have people running across the border, drug traffickers, human traffickers, and purveyors of drugs, fentanyl, killing our children, notwithstanding the terrorists who have entered into our midst. We have a demoralization in our military at a time that we have foreign wars that we are involved in, make no mistake about it, in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and soon to be probably China and Taiwan, who will likely go to war in the not too distant future, as well as in nuclear North Korea and Iran. We are on the verge of potential nuclear holocaust. Never before in my lifetime, or frankly, in the lifetime of the United States, which is not very old, have we faced such peril. Yet we have a president, if you want to call him that, who I've said for many years is brain dead. Now it's confirmed he's brain dead. He likely has severe dementia. He has the onset of Alzheimer's. He is not only dead, frankly, physically and emotionally. He is co-opted by the left, he's become a rubber stamp for them. It's now clear that they walled him off in the White House. They just go in and have him sign, and they get what they want. The White House is being run by leftists, socialists, communists, and atheists, mostly all tied to former President Obama and his then First Lady, Michelle Obama. These are the people that in 3 years have nearly destroyed this country. It is time for us to rise up before it's too late. It is time for us to declare independence again and to form a new government, not a new nation, with honest and ethical people from all walks of life. It is time to find a new John Galt who can take us into the promised land, notwithstanding our belief in God, the Father and the Son. I'm talking about Atlas Shrugged. That's what we're living through, which Ayn Rand wrote about in 1958 when communism was on the rise. Well, now it has taken hold in this country. We are in great peril. So this July 4th, just don't celebrate. Just don't eat hamburgers and hot dogs and ribs or whatever the case may be and watch fireworks. Think about the reason for July 4th and join us at Freedom Watch at freedomwatchusa.org. Contribute to our cause with tax-deductible contributions. We are your real Justice Department. We are your protectors. We need to get bigger. We need to stand in the stead for you. We need to enforce the rule of law under the laws of nature and nature's God, just like our founding fathers said in the Declaration of Independence, because man-made law doesn't cut it in many respects. What does cut it is the rule of God and just logic and common sense, where all people are treated equal, regardless of their race, sex, sexual persuasion, or other forms of identity. And people need to be left alone to live in peace, not to have other people's ideologies pushed upon them. They deserve the right to be free. So this July 4th, think about preserving your right to be free. And join me at Freedom Watch at freedomwatchusa.org and contribute with tax-deductible contributions to our cause. And watch what we do in the next 3 weeks. You're going to see a lot of activity out of us to preserve these freedoms. God bless you. God bless your family. God save America. Thank you for listening to me. I'll be back next week with another special podcast. And remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves.